Howdy, folks. Greyhawk 4x4 coming at you again, your resident vintage gamer. Happy Sunday. Welcome to Sunday Gaming Chat. Started a little bit late. However, I did put the notification on there for the little launcher deal there that it would be starting a little late. Only because the Amazon, hello Bastille, the Amazon delivery guy decided that he was going to show up right at 1 o'clock with my wife's new air fryer, which I knew that before starting this, I had to get unboxed and set up for her before coming down here so that it is happy wife, happy life. So now she is taking care of her new air fryer and looking at recipes and all that other stuff, which allows me to do this, and we're both happy. So, greetings. Time for the first dew of the day here. So, hey, buddy. I saw your text earlier, and I was in the middle of some stuff with Carol. That's my brother from another mother right there, Big John, that just chimed in. And after this was over, I planned to contact you and see what was up. So I don't know if you were going to call and share in our misery about the Raiders, but yeah, I was just getting ready to talk about the Raiders game yesterday that unfortunately they let us down again. And I only say that because I don't have a problem with when they get beat by, the other team. When the other team just is better that particular day and so forth. I do have a problem. He just took the words right out of my mouth. John, my buddy Big John right there, just took the words right out of my mouth. I have a problem when it seems that the Raiders, the players don't show up. Like, they didn't look hungry from the beginning. And when I say hungry, I mean Cincinnati, the players looked like they wanted to go eat some red meat, some raw meat, because they were just like, they wanted it more. They were hungrier. They had the fire in their belly, however you want to put it. And the Raiders just didn't have it yesterday. So, and now I just had to turn the TV off because, hello, Colin, because that fucker Tom Brady is winning. At least he was before I turned the TV off. And as my buddy John will attest to, we have hated Tom Brady for decades. Not well, he isn't even on the Patriots anymore, John. He's on Tampa Bay now, but I don't know what it is. It all goes back to the Tuck game. It all goes back to the Tuck game. He knows it was a fumble. Everybody knew it was a fumble. And the refs screwed us. He bitched and moaned, and because he was Tom Brady, shit went his way. And ever since, we've had to hate him. So, anyway, got that out of the way. I can't remember who it is. Somebody was, he's an alien. Yeah, 44 years old, and he's still playing quarterback in the National Football League at a high level. Yeah, he found the fountain of youth or something, or who knows what it is. There was somebody, and I can't remember who it was, that is a Bengals fan. And before this whole thing started, before they went in the playoffs and everything, he wished me good luck. I wished him good luck. And I can't remember who it was now, but whoever it was, congratulations. So So let's talk about some gaming stuff. Um, I saw that God of War, which of course was a huge title on consoles, and now it launched on Steam. And I've been holding off because, as we know, I don't pre-order games anymore because I've gotten burned too many times. As a bookmark here, that leads me to my Intellivision rant, my new Intellivision Amico rant that's coming up after this topic here. Um, so I saw that it launched. The immediate reviews were overwhelmingly positive. And I went in and I read everything, and everybody said that, yeah, the port, it's an excellent port. And if you remember the last video I did, I talked about the last live I did, I think, I talked about it'll all come down to that. It'll come down to whether or not it's a good port from console to PC. Because we've had good ones, but we've had some really shitty ports as well. So this one appears to be good. So I'm going to give it another, I might even wait. My buddy Big John says here it's too much right now, $20 or less. I'll give it till the first time that, it has a discount, and then I'm probably going to pick it up because I really am curious about it because I never played it on console. I can't remember if it was a PlayStation exclusive or if it was also on Xbox, but regardless, I have a PS3. I never got a PS4. I thought I'd wait for PS5, and now you can't get a fucking PS5 to save your life. So I'm not going to fight the snipers. So I'm fine playing on PC. So anyway, so that I was interested if there's anybody in here that we only got 5 people in here right now, but there'll be some more come on later. If any of you guys have already gotten it and tried it out. So it'd be interesting to see your comments here. But that does lead me into my rant of the day, which is, if you have been following me for any time, you know that the Intellivision was my favorite game console of all time, going way back. I love the Intellivision. The recent iteration of it was a few years back. A guy came out and said, "Hey, I'm going to come out with this thing called the Intellivision Amico. It's going to be a new version of Intellivision, taking some of the classic games and updating them. And it has some really cool features where you just take your controller from yours at home. Let's say that you have a friend somewhere else that has an Amico as well. You can just take your controller with you, go over to that, and it saves everything right on your controller. And then you can just, start playing with them over there and everything, right? And it's retro. It's got all the older games updated and so forth. And they had a Founders Edition. And the only way that you could get the gold Founders Edition that matches the look of the original Intellivision was you had to put down a deposit, $100 deposit, and then it'll be another $100 once it releases. It was supposed to release last year. Then they delayed it because of COVID, which is understandable, and supply chain stuff and everything, to the end of last year. Then they pushed it to the beginning of this year. And now there's been radio silence. And they're saying, oh, well, we're going to make an announcement, at some point, blah, blah, blah. And bottom line is they had to somebody put out a hit piece. Somebody put out an article basically saying that they think it's vaporware at this point, and that it was a money grabbing scheme and all these different allegations. And 2 of the people from Intellivision Amico, the new Intellivision Corporation, they put out a statement refuting all this stuff, but it didn't have the president of the Tommy Tallarico, I think is his name. He's the one who touted this thing from the beginning, and his name was noticeably absent from the press release. And so now everybody's like speculating what the hell's going on. Where's Tommy, and all, is the console going to come out and whatnot. And I basically posted on the forums that, hey, bottom line is you guys got to make an announcement. Are you guys coming through with these Founders Editions? If not, you need to refund people their money. And I got a bunch of pushback. There's a whole bunch of fanboys that are all in on this thing, and it's like, hey, I think that's a fair question. After years and years of waiting, all we're asking for is some communication. We're not asking that the console has to drop tomorrow, but by God, you better put something concrete out. Come out and talk to people and say, hey, we know we got your money, and we're either at this point, we're either going to refund it or here's the date that it's coming out or something. So yeah. Anyway, so that's going on right now. If any of you were thinking about getting that console, it looks pretty cool, but right now, it's pretty skeptical. I'm pretty skeptical about what's going to happen with it. So, let's see. Let me get caught up here. My buddy Big John's going bananas here. We have been through the whole bunch of games, and we're even put in a game because we're that badass. He is talking about for the other couple of people that are in here that Big John and I and our other buddies, we're actually in the Kiss video game. I have a video about it on my channel. The Kiss video game, which was Psycho Circus, Kiss Psycho Circus. We went to E3 when E3 was actually good, way back when it was a fucking party. And they had I had gotten passes because I one of my clients was DreamWorks Animation, and they also had DreamWorks Game Studios, which ended up getting bought out by EA. But I had a contact who got me the tickets and so forth. And the tickets we had, if I remember, whatever the level was that we had, it allowed us to go over to this section across the street, which was development of gamers or something like that, or gathering of gamers, I think it was. And they had a beer tent, free beer. And I don't mean free shit beer. I mean free good beer, like craft beer and stuff like that. And we were over there, and I'm just giving you guys the short rundown of it. There, if you want to watch that whole video, I go into detail about it. But the bottom line was I had my Kiss tattoo showing, and this was the people that were making the Kiss game. And somebody on one of the teams saw my Kiss tattoo and said, "Oh, you're a true fan. You got it inked up and everything." And we were actually in line for the free beer when this happened. And he said, "How would you guys like to come and see the build so far? Because it wasn't close to being released yet. It was in beta or maybe even alpha." And we're like, "Wait a second, are we being punked?" Because we were all looking at each other like, "Are we being punked?" Because like we're in line for free beer, first of all. And at that time, we had thebeerguys.com. I still have the website. We still have the domain. We're not doing anything with it. Thebeerguys.com, that was us. And we were the ones doing beer reviews way before anybody else was. And so we're like, we're in line for free beer, and now you're inviting us in to play a beta with the developers. Is this really happening? Well, it was. So we get invited in there and everything. We get to play the beta and so forth. And we get done with that. Had a ball, great time, all that, free beer, the whole bit. We end up all going home and everything. And then when the game releases months later, I had a party at my house and everybody's over there. Big John's over there, and I had already found it. I think I'm going through the game, and I showed them that at the Cold Gin bar inside the game, there was a picture of us in the bar. And it was the picture from thebeerguys.com. It was the main picture on our website. And it was behind the bar. And I'm thinking, my initial reaction was, okay, so this thing, what it does is it finds a picture on your hard drive and just imports it into the, and just puts it on the wall there somehow. That's what I thought. And so I think Big John was the one that went and when he went home, he fired his up and it was on his too. Same picture though. And then I think our other buddy Chris did the same thing. And so all of us, and we're like, wait a second, that can't be right then. So guy gave me his card. I called him the next business day. I think it was on a Monday. And I was like, "Hey, did you do what we think you did?" And he started laughing on the phone. He goes, "Yeah." He goes, "You guys are in every copy of Kiss Psycho Circus." And to this day, if you have a copy of it and you fire it up, you go to the Cold Gin bar, you will see the Beer Guys on the picture. It's cockeyed, it's tilted. That picture, that's us from our website that they took and put into the game. So that was a surreal experience that me and my buddy John, who's on here, went through, and our other friends. So yeah, that was one of the better days in my 55 years. That was a good day. So, see, Bastille said, "Hey, Lindis, Lindis, are you the one that's a Cincinnati Bengals fan? I can't remember if it was you or not. One of you guys in here is a Cincinnati Bengals fan. We talked about it before the game." Bastille said, "We had a Sears Telegames back in the 80s. Telegames was an Atari knockoff, but it had to go to a friend's house to play in television." Yeah, I knew it was one of you guys, and I thought it might be you, Lindis. Congratulations, man, on the win. You guys wanted it more, man. You guys, the players on the field were hungrier. You could see it in their eyes. They were fighting harder. They were playing harder. The Raiders just didn't seem to have it. So, yeah, John, that was our 15 minutes of fame. That little picture inside a Kiss video game. Yep. My shirt says, actually, Big John, who's in here, his brother made this design. He has the rustydvw.com is Finn, John's brother. This is one of his designs here. It's not the years, it's the mileage, is what it says. Yeah, this is my beard's almost in the way there, but yeah, it's not the years, it's the mileage, is what it says. So, well, I said that earlier on some forum. I said that when somebody else said the same thing, 31-year drought, and I said that you guys got the Raiders in the first round, so you lucked out because I just, as much as the Raiders have been through this year, I just didn't think they'd make it into the playoffs, and I certainly didn't have any faith that they were going to make it deep into the playoffs. So I think you guys kind of lucked out and got the Raiders the first round. But again, you guys played well. So the Raiders had way too many dropped passes and way too many penalties at crucial points, holding penalties and shit like that. And that's what we always do to ourselves. That's the template for the Raiders. Lindis, 31-year drought. So I talked about this once before that. So does that go all the way back to when I watched them win the Super Bowl when I was in Germany in like 1980? It would have been like 88, maybe 87, 88, somewhere in there. Is it go all the way back there? That can't be right. Because so you're telling me they haven't won a playoff game since they went to the Super Bowl and won when I was watching them back when I was in Germany? Because that's wild if that's what it was. Because I'm trying to do the math in my head. I've been married for going almost 30 years. That might be right. Damn. Maybe that might be more than 31 years ago. Because that was. They never won the Super Bowl. Didn't I see them win the Super Bowl in like 87 or 88? Wait a second. I could have sworn I saw them. I gotta look this up. Hang on a second here. I mean, I believe you. If you're a fan, you know, but what the hell? What game was I watching then? Let's see here. Trying to find out. So I could have sworn I saw him win the Super Bowl. The fuck am I thinking about? Let's see here. Conference champions 81 and 88. So maybe they went to. I was watching. Then who beat them in the Super Bowl that I watched then? Because that had to be what it was. I could have sworn 88. They won the AFC, so that had to be the year. It was Super Bowl 49ers. Okay. All right. Damn, I thought it was weird because I in order to watch the Super Bowl in Germany, I had to watch it on Armed Forces Network, and I had to get up at like 3 o'clock in the morning, 2 o'clock or 3 o'clock in the morning. I had to get up to watch it. And if I remember, I had duty the same day. So I got up like 2 or 3 in the morning, and then I had to report for duty, like at whatever it was, 5 or 6 in the morning. I might have had CQ, which would have started at 7, but I just remember I got up and laid on the couch and watched that damn Super Bowl. And my brain thought that fucking Cincinnati won. God damn it. Anyway, so well, yeah. Congrats then, man. I hope they can. God, I would love it. I would love it if Cincinnati went and met Tampa Bay in the Super Bowl and beat Tom Brady. That would be the Mandela effect. Yeah. So, well, I just remember I was just on the couch at 3 o'clock in the morning, and I remember I kept falling asleep, even though it was the Super Bowl. It wasn't like I was at a Super Bowl party. It was just me by myself watching it on the couch. And my first wife at the time, she was, of course, in bed, and I was just watching it by myself, trying to be quiet because she's sleeping. So, yeah, I would, because I would love it if they would, now that they beat the Raiders, if they go on and meet Tampa Bay in the Super Bowl and beat Tampa Bay, that would be awesome. I'd be celebrating with you, man. So, anyway, I do have a vintage item here I wanted to show you guys. If you're ready for that. So I broke out the, for those of you that know Star Frontiers, I broke out the Star Frontiers box set here. And hey, Foxbat. If Foxbat just joined, here you go. So that's what I'm getting ready to show is this box set right here. The original Star Frontiers. Now, this is one of the ones that I left. Yeah, Bastille. The fact that the Vikings have never won a Super Bowl also, that is bizarre. Because you guys had Fran Tarkington. How the hell you guys never won a Super Bowl is mind-boggling to me. Anyway, this is one of the ones that I had to leave in Germany. Or I didn't have to leave it. Well, I guess I kind of did. What happened was they come to pick up your household goods and stuff, and I had all my shit packed up, and then they were gone. And then when I went to turn the furniture in, because they also do that, come pick up your furniture because it's all government furniture and stuff. I realized at the back of the desk there were like these hidden compartment things, and I had some box sets in there that I missed, and this was one of them that I had to leave in Germany because I had no way to. Because all I had was a duffel bag to bring back, and my duffel bag was already full. I had no way to bring it back. Had I been a smarter man, I would have figured out somebody like Big John or somebody, my buddy, to ship it to. I don't even know if I had time to do that though, because this all happened real fast. So I had to leave this in Germany. I remember I gave it to one of my buddies in the barracks or something like that. So I had to replace this when I got back. And I was at a game convention, and I ended up finding one, so I lucked out. And it's complete. So let's see here. So these are all modules. So in that Star Frontiers game, and for those of you that don't know, this was made by TSR, same people that made Dungeons and Dragons, and it was basically like D&D in space. You ended up having Spelljammer later, but like this was the first like Dungeons and Dragons in space, and it was called Star Frontiers. And they had, so this was that's the expanded. This is the basic book. So that's both of them in the box set. And so you got 2 rule books. This is a pretty decent box set for your money, because all the box sets at that time were pretty much the same price. I even have whoever owned this before me, because I like I said, I bought it used. They had a pretty detailed character sheet there. I even got their character sheet, so that's pretty cool. But it came with a couple of maps. It came with this, and I'm not going to unfold this all the way because we've seen what happens there. I end up tearing them. Anyway, they got one, and then they got a bunch of counters. The counters are unpunched, which is nice. Meaning it's completely these, at least when they say unpunched, it means that they're mint. None of them have been loosened. And then you got another map as the outer cover of the module that came with it. You got this map here. And then that inside is the first module, which was Star SF0, Crash on Volturnus. And what's cool is, and then there was another map on the inside cover, of course. So that's what I'm saying. You get a lot. You got a lot for your money's worth in this initial box set. And then they started releasing modules, which I have in the same box just to save space. They came out with, so that Volturnus thing ended up being 3 parts. It ended up being, so that was the first one. And then you got SF1, which was Volturnus Planet of Mystery. And the third, and it says concluding the Volturnus adventure, Star Spawn of Volturnus. So you had 3 modules making up one campaign, basically, at the beginning. So that's 0, 1, and 2. And then I have 3 and 4 also. And I might have picked these up at the same time. So 3 is right there. That was Sundown on Star Mist. And 4 was Mission to Alcatraz. Now look at this cool ass vehicle on here. I thought this is pretty cool. Now, one of the things that they did was, at a certain point, let's see, what year? That's a good question. It probably would have been about, all right, John. Thanks, buddy. Let's see. I think this would have been 83 or 84. Had to have been, because it was before I went in the Army, and I was still in high school. Might have been a junior, 83 or 84, somewhere in there, somewhere in that age range. Bastille says, I like the larger soft cover books. I'm not a fan of the smaller digest books. And then what they did was, at some point they rebranded Star Frontiers, because they came out with Nighthawks, which is a different box set, which I can show later, which was like for the spaceships and all that, to add ships to combat. And so when they did that, they changed it to Star Frontiers Alpha Dawn. So you had a distinct delineation between Alpha Dawn and Nighthawks. So that's why this one says Star Frontiers and Alpha Dawn Adventure, because they added that at some point. Hey, Haley and Kesha. How are you guys? That's John's little girls. He must have them in the car. So yeah, it's did Haley just have a birthday? Did I just see that on Facebook? If so, happy birthday, Haley. So, and then they made sure to add on there from the producers of Dungeons and Dragons, because they wanted to make sure to have some clout there. And then I even, for some reason, I don't even remember when I got these, but for some reason I bought the character sheets. I didn't even know that until I opened this back up. I forgot I even had this. So there was actually character sheets at some point. And they look pretty cool. So that is most of the stuff. And then they came out with some special stuff. And I don't know what years this would have been. This probably would have been closer to the late 80s. This probably would have been like, because it's a different, it has the different TSR logo here. But they came out with Star Frontiers, and I don't know why they minimized it so much here. They put it in real small type there for the use of Star Frontiers rules in real small type there, and they tied in with 2001: A Space Odyssey, the movie, the legendary movie. And so you got to use the Star Frontier rules to go through this as an adventure. And then they also did the same thing with 2010, which was the sequel. So a lot of people don't know that they did this, movie tie-in with these two. So that's my Star Frontiers collection of the basic game. And then I have the Nighthawk stuff that we can go through at a different time. But I thought you guys might find that interesting for all you old vintage folks, and some of you that like to check out the old vintage stuff, you know. Let's see here. It's my bad. It's actually because Kasaya and they both had a birthday. Oh, well, happy birthday to both of them. I hope they had a good one. So what topics did you guys want to cover today? Was there anything else? I'm trying to think if there was anything. I went over the Intellivision Amico bullshit. And I do have one positive note. So if there's anybody in here that ever played Dark Tower, the board game that had the cool electronic tower in the middle, was considered one of the best board games of all time. And if you can find one now, they go for about $300 for a used one. But the problem is that in those games, and I don't have one. I do not own one. I played back in the old days. I had a buddy named Teague, and he had one, and it was one of the coolest because it had this electronic tower in the middle, and you would use buttons on the tower. It would randomly generate encounters like monsters and stuff like that, and it would also randomly generate like treasure and stuff. And so I never ended up getting one. And now if you can find one, they're about $300. And the problem is, even if you find one, finding one where the tower works is very rare because there's some kind of diodes that are inside that are proprietary to that game. It's like you can't find replacements for them. Linda says he played the Dungeon board game, which I do have that one. I have an original over there. Well, I shouldn't say that. The originals are very rare. I have basically like the second printing. The very first printing is hard to find. I have an original second printing of Dungeon, but Dark Tower was, and it was made by Milton Bradley. It was not associated with Dungeons and Dragons or anything like that. They came out with two, didn't they? Are you talking about? Okay, yeah, I must have clarified it there. Yeah, so the Dark Tower had nothing to do with Dungeons and Dragons, nothing to do with TSR. It was just, but it was this fascinating game. So what they did is there was a Kickstarter a few years back called Return to Dark Tower, and some new people that have basically they take old classic games and they update them completely and relaunch them. And they did this Kickstarter called Return to Dark Tower with a redesigned tower and the whole bit. And I went hardcore on that. I went for the full boat. I think it was about $300 for the new version, because if I wanted to spend $300 and get an older one, you'd be lucky if the tower even works and so forth. So I put in for this Kickstarter, and it was probably the last Kickstarter I ever did. And they have a real good history of fulfilling their Kickstarters. They've never failed one. And of course, we had COVID and the supply chain stuff happen. And so, but I got a notification that I should be getting mine by the end of next month. They confirmed the shipping address and the whole bit, but unlike the Intellivision people, kept everybody in the loop the entire time. They were constantly doing updates, even telling you where the ship was, like from China that was bringing the games over. So you knew how far out, where the ship was, and they provided a link where you could track the ship and everything. I mean, they kept us in the loop, so everybody was happy, even though it was late. It was definitely late because of all the issues, but they kept everybody in the loop, and so everybody was happy. No one was bitching and complaining. Everybody's like, "Yeah, okay, thanks for letting us know. As long as we know shit's happening, we're happy." And so the good news is I should hopefully get that by the end of next month, and I will do a full unboxing of that on the channel here, because it is, and there's probably a link. If you just go Return to Dark Tower, you can Google it, and you can see there's videos on YouTube about showing they actually did, at conventions and stuff, they had full playthroughs with it and everything. It looks like a blast. So that is some good news. But I got burned on the Intellivision so far. I mean, they may end up coming through. I doubt it, but they might. And I got burned on the Memorial Tomb from from Ernie Gygax and I forget the other guy's name. I know his name, I just can't think of it right now. Anyway, French guy. They were well intentioned, and their problem was they promised too many add-ons, and they hit all these milestones with dollar amounts, and it kept meaning more add-ons, or more stretch goals, I should say, and it got overwhelming. So another game company has come in to help them to try and fulfill. So fingers crossed, we might get that. That's all Greyhawk stuff, the memorial tomb, and so I'm hoping I get that one. But if not, I got burned on that one, and if I get burned on the Intellivision, that's two. Looks like the Dark Tower is going to fulfill, but that's why I quit doing Kickstarters, because I kept feeling like I was getting burned. So I had some early on that fulfilled, no problem. Goodman Games is anything by Goodman Games. I don't have a problem with them because they have fulfilled every single time. So if you guys are followers of them for tabletop role playing stuff, so let's see. That's everything I can think about. I don't know if my buddy Big John is listening or not, but I'm still playing Star Wars Galaxies on this emulator, and it's just like, I mean, these guys got it down except for the space combat, except for jump to light speed, which they're working on. Everything else is just like it was. And me and John are the ones who, when that thing, we were day one players of Star Wars Galaxies when it came out. And I had people that argued with me because I was talking about it today, and I had people argue with me saying that there were not corpse runs in the original Star Wars Galaxies, and there was. The first week, if you got killed, and if John was still in here, he'd back me up on this, because he and I were out together questing and stuff. And if you got killed in Star Wars Galaxies, there's cloning centers, so you clone your DNA, and then if you get killed, basically it's a clone of you that you're playing then when you come back. That's how they handle death and everything. But the first week after you got cloned, you had to go get your shit back, because you dropped all your stuff. You dropped your gear, everything, and any player that came across it could take it. They could just take your shit. And so I remember something killed me, and my buddy Big John survived, and he stayed there and guarded my stuff while I had to run back from the cloning center at the city or whatever. And where my stuff was, there was a bunch of mobs, the ones that killed me, that were still aggro. And I remember having to go prone, because there was a way to go prone in the game. And I remember crawling to get my backpack and get my shit and get it out of there without aggroing those mobs again. That happened. It only lasted for a week, because they realized that there'd be so much griefing going on with people stealing everybody's stuff. People would just be trying to aggro mobs into other players to get them killed and then take their shit and all that. And they changed it. But for the first week, that was the way it was. It was crazy. So yeah, that's it for me. Star Wars Galaxies. Our campaign, our D&D campaign, in the what's it called, the Dalmanwood. We had another great session. I tweeted out some pictures and stuff because we did a dungeon crawl and all that. I'll be doing my update probably tomorrow, my campaign update tomorrow. My fighter got destroyed, almost dead twice from two different creatures. Because the way I'm playing him he is first in the door. He's got no fear. He is just in the door, and he's just going ham, So that's why he keeps getting knocked out. Does anybody have any questions or anything? Let me double check the chat here, make sure I didn't miss anything here. Let's see. think I'm all caught up here. Any other? We're at 40 minutes here. I don't really have any other topics to cover unless you guys have some questions or um, some comments. We talked about football. Um, we talked about in television. We talked about God of War. We talked about what else? The Star Frontier stuff, the campaign. Um, Anything else? Anybody got any questions? Trying to think if there was anything else. Oh, I wish Mr. was in here. I didn't see Mr. check in here. Because I did have a question for her. Maybe somebody else might have an answer. Bastille says he got a shirt from my store. It fits well and looks great. Awesome. I saw that you guys ordered one. It looked like it was your wife that ordered it. At least that's what it looked like to me, but it was for you, I'm assuming then. Awesome. I'm glad to hear that. I mean, the one that I got, and I need to get one with just my logo on it. I need to jump on there and get one. That one, it's held up well through washing and stuff like that. I was wanting to make sure that they didn't fade too bad or anything like that. So it seems to be decent quality. So I know a lot of other people use Bonfire. That's who I do my shirts through. And I know a lot of other people use Bonfire. A lot of other YouTubers and stuff like that use Bonfire, and it seems to be pretty reputable. So yeah, there's been a few of you. I think Chupa might have got a shirt, and you, and I know a couple people in my gaming group have gotten them, and so forth. So I'm glad that it's looking good. But what I was gonna say before that was I wish Mr. was here because I wanted to ask her about Final Fantasy 14. It appears that it's still not for sale. Because they pulled it, if you remember, they pulled it off the stores not because there was anything wrong with it, but because it was so popular, the servers were getting hammered so hard with new players that they stopped selling it. And I saw just like yesterday or the day before an article saying it was still off the shelves, the digital shelves. It's still not available to get new. And I wanted to ask her opinion on that to see if she thought that was, because that seems like that's been like, I want to say at least maybe 2-3 weeks that they haven't been selling them. And I would have thought that would have been enough time for them to stabilize the servers or open up some new servers to where they could start selling it again. I mean, it's no skin off my back, but I just thought it was interesting. Did you ever have one of those little tabletop video games, the ones with LED or vacuum fluorescent displays? I never had one of the tabletop. I think I know which ones you're talking about. But I don't think I did. Now you're not talking about like the handheld football, because I had the handheld football, handheld baseball. I had those, and then I had the Pong console at the very beginning, which you hooked up to your TV. I did have a Pong console, but the ones you're talking about, I'm trying to think. Are you talking about like the Dungeons and Dragons tabletop? There was a tabletop game that was electronic. It was like an electronic Dungeons and Dragons. I don't know if that's what you're talking about, or if you're talking more like the tabletop Pong, or there was Pac-Man and stuff like that. They had tabletop ones that you could sit at, that you would see like in restaurants and bars and stuff like that. I don't think those are the ones you're talking about, because you said little. So, yeah, I don't. The only ones I remember having were like football, the handheld ones. So, Colin? Did you have one of those that you're talking about? Because I'm pretty sure everybody had that. I've got it. It's not the original one, but I have a version of the handheld football where it just was little like LED lights that moved on the screen and stuff like that. And then I had that one, and I had the baseball one. I might have even had basketball at one time. You can still find those. They're still making those under, you can find them at Walmart and stuff like that. Are those the ones you're talking about, Colin, or something different? Oh, by the way, did anybody go back and watch my, because I think, Colin, you left early last time because you didn't want the spoilers for the Book of Boba Fett. Did you go back and watch that? Like, did you watch the Book of Boba Fett episode 3 and then go back and watch my rant and all that? Because I would, if there's anybody in here that wants to talk about it, I have no problem talking about it some more, because my points that I made, it seemed, was pretty much the predominant theory or the predominant opinion out there amongst all the fans, because it kind of blew up the same things I was complaining about that particular episode. Yeah, like the fucking neon speeders, the Vespas, in all these wild ass colors and stuff like that. I don't know if any of you guys. There was another one that was a spoiler, which again I won't talk about unless everybody here has already seen it and lets me know, because the other one was definitely a spoiler. So, okay. I'm trying to. No, I didn't have any. Now, if you're talking about the ones that you sat at, like they were actually table and you could sit at it. I know that if that's the ones you're talking about, I did not have one of those. No, I wish I did. But now, if you're talking about miniature versions of them, like that sat on the table, I did not have those either. Yeah, I didn't have those at all. It would have been nice to have them, because I played the shit out of Pac-Man in the arcade. Anyway, on the Star Wars stuff, if anybody wants to talk about that, chime in, because so you did, when you say you did, you had those, or you did watch Star Wars Episode 3? Oh, and you just bought a mint one from eBay. Okay, gotcha. I would love to see what they look like. So, you guys, if you guys ever need to email me anything, you guys can just email me at greyhawk4x4@gmail.com. That's my email address. So that's my business email address. So it's easy to remember, greyhawk4x4@gmail.com. So I would love, if you want to email me that, or you can post it. You can put it right in chat, I think. You can put a link in chat, I think. I'd love to see what that looked like, Colin. So I would be very interested to see those. And I'll probably, once I see it, I'll probably, oh yeah, I remember those. I know I didn't have anything like that. So I wish my buddy John was still in here, because one of my memories of the only time I ever did anything with Apple was he had an Apple IIe, and the original Wolfenstein. It was called. What was it called? I think it might have been just Castle Wolfenstein, and it was just the monochrome, little little monochrome monitor with just green on green, and we played that thing at his house, and it was fantastic. That was the one time I ever played on anything Apple, was that, and matter of fact, I have it on my business card. I have that one of the little screenshots from that. It's on my business card. And then I had a Texas Instruments, what was it, TI 499 or 498 4A or something like that. I still have it. I don't have any cords for it, but I still have that too. So as far as the vintage stuff goes, those are the ones I got. So all right, guys. Well, I think we've exhausted all the topics for today. Um, unless anybody else has any last minute stuff, we're at 50 minutes. So, um, anybody else got anything before we shut her down? The little miniature ones where the sprites were all pre-made LEDs. Yeah, I haven't. I'll have to. You have to send me a link so I can look them up and check them out. Either you can put it in chat, you can email it to me, because I would love to see. Let's see here. Let's see here. I'm going to eBay just real quick, and I'm going to put in miniature. Are you talking about the tiny arcade one? No, that's a newer stuff, isn't it? The tiny arcade. Let's see here. I'm just trying to see if these are all the newer ones. Yeah, these are not the vintage ones that I'm looking at here. Yeah, I'm gonna have to. Yeah, these are all the. Here's an awesome miniature Pac-Man handheld arcade game tested and works great. This might be the one you're talking about because that's tabletop. Let's see here. No, that looks like a newer one also. Yeah, I'll have to wait until you send me a link or something so I can check that out. So, oh, here we go. Yeah, let me see here. Here we go. Okay, now that I see that, I do remember I never owned any of those. No, I did not. But now that I see the picture, yes, I do remember seeing them. I remember seeing them in stores, but I never bought it. I don't know why. That's a good question as to why I never got any. But Astro Blaster. Okay, so now I know what you're talking about. Yeah, I never had any of those, which is surprising. I must have been spending my money on tabletop like D&D stuff because at that time as a kid, limited funds. So it's like, okay, where does it go? Do I buy some D&D books? Do I buy one of those? Yeah, that's very cool. That'd be a great thing to have for the collection. Let me look. How much are those even going for? Let's see here. That's not bad. 45 pounds. So that's about, was that about $55, $60? Something like that. And let's see here. May not post to the United States. Yeah, that would be interesting to have for the collection, though. Because, I have weird, long-reaching ideas of maybe someday down the road, somehow opening up a cool, like vintage gaming art museum type of a thing. Like if I hit the lottery, that would be something I would do. I would like buy a building and like make the bottom floor like a museum for gaming, and that's the kind of shit that I would have on display there, just old stuff like that. So Bastille says I sank all of my allowance money on Star Wars figures. Can't blame me there. Do you still have them, Bastille? That's the question. Foxbat. Same here, Star Wars figures. Do you guys still have them? That's what I got to know because they're worth money if you still have them. I just ordered the new Mandalorian, basically the Kenner version. They released it just like the Kenner ones, like that you're talking about. They released the Mandalorian on Amazon. and it was $30. And I remember when we were kids and those came out, what were they like? Each one was maybe $5 or something like that, packaged. Um, yeah, the Mandalorian was $30, and I got it just before it sold out too. Yeah, I'm sure they're still worth something though, Bastille. Even though they're loose. Edward Green, I lost all mine some years ago back, but had 2 cases of Star Wars. Oh man, I'm sorry. I have a similar story about baseball cards. I had before I went in the Army, I had a suitcase full of baseball cards, and I'm talking about baseball cards from the 60s and 70s, and I had a whole suitcase full. I had rookie cards in there. I mean, I had cards that if anybody that knows baseball cards, if I mention them, I had a Pete Rose rookie card. I mean, I had a Willie Mays rookie card. I think I had, you know, the idea of what those, if I still had those, what those would be worth now is, I can't even think about it. I also had a fucking Revenge of the Jedi poster, one sheet, actual movie poster, Revenge of the Jedi, before they changed the title. They printed some posters before they changed the title to Return of the Jedi, because someone had to point out to George Lucas, Mr. Lucas, Jedi don't seek revenge, right? And he must have went, oh shit, you're right. It can't be Revenge of the Jedi. They don't look for revenge. That's not part of their ethos. So they had to change it to Return. Yeah, I had one. Then when I went in the Army to basic training, not in a wartime situation. There was no wartime going on. The Cold War was going on, but there was no actual war going on. I go in the Army. I come back after basic training. My dad had gotten rid of all my shit. And he's like, well, I didn't think you'd want it anymore. I'm like, did you think I was going off like on a suicide mission and not ever coming back? I just went to basic training and came back, and all my shit was he got rid of. I don't know if he sold it or gave it away, including my baseball trophies, like my baseball and football trophies. Got rid of those. What the fuck, dude? Oh, I mean, it's like he thought I was never going to come back or something. So anyway, my Revenge of the Jedi poster was one of those things that I lost. So, Colin says, I love mine and swapped it for Yahtzee. Oh, that's right. Yeah, don't forget, I've got the Discord. I don't have Discord running right now, but let me get that going. I always forget I even have the Discord, so I forget to check it and everything. We did use it for our D&D game because Roll20 was not working worth a shit. So, yeah, I got the Discord going now. So, I had a ton that were given to me and gave them away to 2 cousins. I lost a bunch of FASA Star Trek box sets to water. Oh man, we all have horror stories, don't we? I have my Star Trek box sets back there, Bastille, on the shelf back there. I don't know. You can see, yeah, right there. There's my 2 Star Trek right there. Maybe I'll show those on one of the lives. Of course, that'll break your heart, right, Bastille? If all I got left is the baby Ewok. Hey, at least you got something. All right, guys. Yeah, I got the Discord. I'll have to remember to keep checking the Discord. Because let's see here. Oh yeah, I need to. Shit, I haven't been checking this at all. Damn. Sorry, Bastille. You posted a picture of your tune. Oh, the team helped you out. Okay, I missed all this. Damn, sorry, man. Okay, yeah, I gotta do better about checking that Discord stuff. Edward Green says, not to change the subject. No, please do change anytime you want to. The more we have to talk about, the better. Not to change the subject, I've been playing Rime of the Frost Maiden campaign currently. Despite the adventure path criticisms, I've played several, and Rime of the Frost Maiden is something special. Well, I have it, so I'm glad to hear that. Awesome. I bought a vintage TIE Fighter pilot and Princess Leia. Oh, shit, what am I doing? Here's the one. Here's the one I could kick myself for. There's Princess Leia, slave bikini with the chain from Jabba's palace that I took out of the fucking package. Yeah. If that was still in the package, I don't know what that would go for. I don't even know why I took it out. The poster was a real loss. Has anyone else been playing the Wizards of the Coast published campaigns? We played through the what was it? The whatever the original one was. Jonathan DM that original one that ended up with like the Rise of Tiamat or whatever. That was the only one I played through. Alejandro says, hypothetically, how many Baja Blasts would it take for you to do a playthrough of Choo Choo Charles? I don't even know what Choo Choo Charles is. But speaking of Baja Blast, I have a full stockpile of Baja Blast, so, and I have enough to get me through to the next time they release it. So I don't know that I could be tempted to play something called Choo Choo Charles. Bastia says, Edward Green, I would like to play them. Yeah. Our group is not a fifth edition group anymore. I'm not saying we won't at some point down there, but it seems like we're doing the OSE, the Old School Essentials, and my first and second edition campaign, and then Brad is also doing the first and second edition campaign. Doesn't mean that we won't at some point. But yeah, so and then I have this guy here. He was somebody gave this one to me, I think, at one point. This is, I think, from the Clone Wars or whatever. And so this one was already out of the package and everything. So because for whatever reason I took Leia out of the packaging, so I usually have him there next to Leia, holding the chain because she's as prisoner, you know. But all right, guys. Well, it's over an hour. I'm getting tired of talking. I don't know how those guys like Nerdrotic and those guys that do 5-hour lives. I don't know how the fuck they do that. I don't know how somebody could talk for 5 straight hours. God damn. I mean, it's bad enough when like DMing for 5 hours will wear you out. DMing for 5 hours. You will wake up the next day, whether you had anything to drink or not, you will wake up the next day feeling hungover. You'll have a scratchy throat from all that talking and everything. It's a blast. It's fun as hell, but Foxbat, yeah, it's amazing how long they can go. Yeah, it blows me away. Now again, they have other people, so they have a full screen of 5 or 6 or however many people they got on there. So not everybody's talking all at the same time, but I was just watching Deep Space Nine. Well, I haven't seen Deep Space, so I'm not going to read the rest of that comment in case that's a spoiler. Matter of fact, I'm on the very last season of Next Generation, and I'm almost done. I'm like on episode 19 or something like that. They had like 25 per season or whatever. So after that, I think I'm going to Deep Space Nine. That's the next series I think I'm going to. So I'm not going to read the rest of that comment because in case that's a spoiler. Let's see here. Yeah, let's see here. Uh, Now, if you put another comment below saying it's not a spoiler, then I'll go back and read it. But just in case, because yeah, I haven't seen even a single episode of Deep Space Nine yet. I was told I got to go Next Generation, then Deep Space Nine, and then Voyager. Um, Bastille says we just finished The Last Detective on BritBox. Yeah, that's on our list. We're still on Father Brown right now. We're on the last season of Father Brown, and um, there's supposed to be now. Bastille, you might find this interesting. Father Brown's coming back for another season, but there's also going to be a spin-off from Father Brown as well. It had Peter Davidson in it from Doctor Who. Oh, interesting. So yeah, and then at some point we're probably going to finish Vera, because we did not like Vera at the beginning, and then somebody here, one of you guys said, "Hey, give it another chance because it gets better," and we did. And it's the last two episodes we saw of Vera actually were really good. So I think that has kind of uh, redeemed itself. So to whoever told me that, thank you, because you were right. It does get better. And Shetland, of course, we're all caught up on Shetland. That's one of the better shows on TV. So let's see. Father Brown is in my queue. Yeah, you'll enjoy that one because that one goes. There's like 8 seasons. We're on season 7 or 8, whatever the last one is, and then it's supposedly coming back, and then there's going to also be a spinoff. So there's plenty of content there. Midsummer Murders, um, those are all good ones. You know. So. What is your name, AJ? I have an OSE campaign sandbox to send to you. Wow. If you mean my email address is greyhawk4x4@gmail.com. So you can always email me anything you want there. So Greyhawk4x4 is my handle. AJ is my name. So I think I answered your question. Let's see here. I will be interested to see your opinion of the finale of Next Generation. So, Colin, so right now, just so you know where I'm at, Troy, Counselor Troy, just got promoted to commander because she wanted to be able to be a bridge officer. And then 1 or 2 episodes past that is where I think I'm at. Oh, so Edward, if you're going to send me a physical copy, my mailing address is in the description down below. Of all my videos, you can see the mailing address. It's actually like a PO box at the UPS store. But don't put PO box because Bastille, he tried to send me something and he put post office box on it. And it's not a post office box. It's actually a street address. But it's on, if you do it just how I have it in the description below, it will get to me, and then I can review it or whatever you want me to do. Matter of fact, I think, yeah, yeah, it's I've got their card here, and it serves as it's like a street address because it's yeah, which is awesome because I have a lot of stuff delivered there because I don't have to worry about stuff getting stolen off the porch, and also we're on the where our house is. We have nothing to the north of us. We have no windbreak at all. So when it snows or rains or whatever, anything on the porch is going to get soaked. So yeah, that's why it's nice to have that. Let's see. So I'm at a minute 9. So yeah, I should be finishing Next Generation this week, and then I can start on. Everybody's telling me Deep Space Nine is next, or Voyager. They kind of go at the same time period, but most people are saying, yeah, I will certainly. I'll give it a look over, give it a read, review it. Yeah, that's awesome, man. I appreciate that. Um, yeah, for Christmas, Bastille sent my wife and I, and we used the hell out of it. That one of those big containers that you use on the countertop in your kitchen to put all your big utensils in, like your spatulas and your wooden spoons and all that stuff. And we literally never had one of those. We always had all that stuff in a drawer, and we had a perfect spot for it. And it's like, and it says right on it, "See you on the flip side." Because it's got spatulas and stuff in it. I guess it's because of flipping pancakes, you know. But that's when I say catch you on the flip side at the end of my videos, that was pretty close. So it's awesome, and even matches the color, even matches our kitchen and everything. So use the shit out of it all the time. So yeah, I will certainly do that, Edward. I appreciate that. All right, guys. The voice is getting tired, so I'm gonna call it a day. Yeah, Bastille, that worked out, man. I don't know. That was like the planets aligning or whatever that you sent us that, and it worked out perfectly. So, um, anyway, I'm gonna call it there, guys. Let's see. Today, so Sunday. Tomorrow, I'll do the campaign update, and then we'll go from there. So, Bastille, before I go, if you want me to time to have the, I am married. I'm married to a hairstylist. It's been cutting hair for over 40 years. You'd think that I'd get a fucking haircut, you know. Bastille. So those Star Trek, those FASA Star Trek box sets, if you want the next live, I can go through those or whatever, unless that's too painful for you. So yeah, if you don't want me to, because it'd be too painful, I won't do that. So yeah, it's handy to have. I haven't paid for a haircut. Well, and I haven't trimmed my beard in so long. The sideburns got to go though. These got to go. And in the springtime, this is getting trimmed. I've only got this. I'm keeping this because it's still cold. When springtime hits, this is getting trimmed down. I might even go down to a goatee, but okay. So yeah, I will do that for the next live. All right, guys. Until next time, we will catch you on the flip side. Colin says, I'm 5 episodes from finishing DS9, coincidentally. Well, I don't think I'll catch up to you there. So there's no fear there of me catching up to you. So all right, guys. We will see you next on Thursday for the next live, and then I'll do some videos in between, including the campaign update. Catch you guys on the flip side.